So what if I told you that in just the last 72 hours, two political earthquakes just hit America? One aimed at your bank account, and the other one's aimed at exposing years and years of corruption inside the most powerful law enforcement agency in this country. President Donald Trump has just issued a bold demand, a Social Security boost for every American on fixed income, retirees, the disabled, SSI, SSDI, all of them. Comment down below if you're on SSI, SSDI, or Social Security. Let me know, guys. But that's only half of the story. In fact, basically, Donald Trump, he's fighting for your wallet. Let's just keep it clear. Let's keep it plain and simple. The new FBI director, he just dropped a bombshell. The agency has uncovered what he called deeply hidden files, buried evidence, political sabotage, and even international deception by former FBI leaders like James Comey, Andrew McCabe, and even Peter Strzok. So now, for the first time, they're actually saying it out loud. The American people were lied to. Your trust was betrayed. And while seniors were being nickeled and dimed on Social Security, the FBI was being used like a political weapon. And you know what? All of that is about to change. In fact, the question now is, how deep does the corruption go? And will Trump's plan to boost Social Security finally crush the resistance blocking relief for millions of Americans? Now, today in this video here, I'm going to share with you guys the truth about this explosive Comey investigation, the bombshell documents that are being declassified as we speak, and how it all connects all the way back to the fight for a $2,400 Social Security increase. Plus, we got to talk about President Trump's push to eliminate taxes for your benefits. So, guys, I also want to share with you guys one other big thing. Exactly why the FBI is moving out of Washington, D.C. How 1,500 agents are being deployed to crime hotspots, and why Trump's team says, hey, there's a new sheriff in town. Drop a quick 47 in the comments down below if you support Trump's effort to remove crime from the country. Now, stick with me, guys, because once you see what has been uncovered and what Trump is demanding next, I think you're going to understand very clearly why the next few weeks may change everything. So trust me, guys, the best part is still coming. If you haven't already, please, I appreciate it when you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So let's start off with the heart of it all. Your money, your benefits, your future, right? Now, just days ago, Congressman John Larson, he stood up in Congress and he made it very clear, crystal clear, in fact. It's time to increase Social Security benefits across the board. We're not talking about some vague forms. We're not talking about it would be nice. No, we're talking about real money, guys. A $2,400 per year boost, or $200 per month for every American on Social Security, whether you're retired, on SSDI, or even receiving SSI. Comment down below if you remember Joe Biden making this promise. Anybody remember that? Well, anyway, John Larson, he's pushing for the Social Security 2100 Act. This is a bold new proposal designed to raise benefits, keep the program solvent through the year 2100, and also protect those who have paid into the system for decades. And get this, guys, he's calling out both parties. He's saying, hey, look, it's been over 50 years since Congress last enhanced Social Security. That's disgraceful. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because while Larson's pushing for increases, Donald Trump is making his own demands. You see, guys, during his 2024 campaign and into the current administration, Trump has repeatedly promised to end the taxation of Social Security benefits. That was supposed to be included in the now infamous Big Beautiful Bill, but it wasn't. Instead, what made it in? It was a $4,000 tax deduction that was dubbed the GOP senior bonus, which a lot of critics are calling a half measure that really falls short of Trump's original pledge. But Trump's not backing down. In fact, insiders say that he still publicly and privately is pushing for the full elimination of Social Security taxes. And he's not letting the GOP off the hook that easy. In fact, Medicare, it's like a 1,000-piece puzzle, guys, except the picture just keeps changing on you. It's not even fair. Chapter is the team that helps you finally make some sense of it. They go through every plan in your area. They show you exactly which plan, which one actually fits, and they make sure that you're not paying any more than you should. Julie from Kansas, she saved $400 a year. Jamie in Texas is saving $600 a year. It's totally free. There's no confusion, just the right fit. Reach out to our friends over at Chapter online at askchapter.org/Ron. I'll leave a link for them in the description down below, or you can give them a phone call at 909-563-8279. Medicare should not be this hard. Give our friends at Chapter a call right now. See how much they can save you. So now, guys, the tension, it's building. It's very clear the tension is building, but the real question is, will Congress finally deliver the Social Security boost that Americans were promised? Well, that remains to be seen, but I may have some good news for you. And will Trump's team force them to include real tax relief for seniors in the next round? And remember, this is just the beginning, because we are going to talk about exactly how John Larson just called out Trump and the entire Republican leadership on national television, accusing them of breaking their promise to seniors. Do you guys agree with John Larson on that? Do you think Donald Trump and the Republicans have broken their promise to seniors? Just a quick yes or no down below. I want to see where you stand on that, guys. So I also want to reveal how the reconciliation process has given Trump a hidden weapon to push his demands through without needing 60 votes in the Senate. This is a strategy he's used before, and it looks like he's going to pull it off again. So yeah, you're definitely going to want to stick around for that one, guys. So what happened when the camera started rolling? Well, Congressman John Larson didn't hold back. He openly called out Republicans, even Donald Trump himself, accusing them of failing to keep their word to seniors. He pointed directly to the big, beautiful bill and said, hey, look, Trump promised to eliminate the tax on Social Security, and that promise is missing from the bill. So he called him out. So now, whether you support Trump or not, and many of you do, comment down below if you support Trump. So whether you do or don't support Trump, many are saying that this criticism from John Larson about Donald Trump really struck a nerve, because the reality is Trump did make that promise. While it may not have actually made it into the final text of that bill, Trump is reportedly still fighting behind the scenes to get it back in there. Here's the other thing. Let me know if you think Trump's taking a lot of blame for this not being in the bill. Let me know if you think it's his fault or not, because a lot of folks are saying Trump didn't write that bill. So why should he be blamed for this? I'm just, hey, I'm just saying. Anyway, John Larson, his message was very clear. Don't talk about helping seniors. Do it. Just get it done, right? Get it in writing, get it passed. But here's where it gets even more interesting. And you're not going to hear this on mainstream media news, guys. We are now entering the phase where reconciliation is on the table. And if you guys know anything about reconciliation, you probably know this. It's basically the nuclear option in modern American lawmaking. What it means is that the ruling party, and in this case, it's the Republicans who control the House, the Senate, and the White House, they can basically pass a bill without needing a single vote from the other side, being the Democrats, right? So they only need 51 votes in the Senate, and Trump's GOP has the numbers. So now the question becomes, will Trump use that power to push through the full elimination of Social Security taxes? Will John Larson's pressure campaign kind of push the GOP to expand the $4,000 deduction into a full-blown increase? So these are the things that we're looking at here. Or will this become yet another political promise that disappears when the cameras are off, right? I'm gonna say this. The pressure is absolutely mounting fast, and it's not just coming from Congress. So we're about to look at the shocking public response of these proposals, the numbers, the polls, the sentiment from everyday Americans who are flooding the comment section demanding change. And then I want to show you how Trump already delivered for millions. One of the most overlooked Social Security actions in modern history, guys. This is the Fairness Act, which led to retroactive payments of up to $8,000 per person. Yeah, that happened, but most people missed it. Comment down below if you missed it. Now, let's talk about what matters, right? What matters to the American people and what the American people are saying. Right? So after the news dropped, comments started pouring in across every platform. Some were saying, yes, give us the full $200 per month boost. We earned it. Others are shouting, eliminate the taxes. Let us keep what's ours. And many, a lot of people say, hey, forget the politics. Just get something passed already. Right? So when asked what they wanted the most, the top three answers were, number one, they wanted an across the board increase in benefits like the $2,400 per year plan that John Larson promised. Two, the second one was the complete elimination of Social Security taxes as Trump promised. And three was the $4,000 tax deduction for seniors, viewed as the compromise in the middle ground. Now, let me know which one out of those three you would prefer to see happen and made into law tomorrow. So here's where things got real interesting. In a very viral live stream, thousands of people dropped a 47 in the comments to support and signal Trump support for Trump's agenda, compared to only a few people posting 46 politics and to represent Biden's previous efforts. So I think this pretty much tells you everything. The grassroots energy behind Trump's Social Security push, it's real and it's only growing. But here's something that most Americans have not heard yet. It's a total game changer. Trump already delivered one of the biggest Social Security wins in decades. You know what? The thing is it barely got reported. So I'm talking about the Social Security Fairness Act, which was quietly passed in January before Biden left office, but it was implemented immediately by Trump. And the results? 2.3 million Americans received retroactive back pay. Some seniors received $5,000, $6,000, even $8,000 directly deposited into their accounts. Monthly checks went up permanently for those who qualified. And this wasn't a talking point. This wasn't a theory. This was real money for real people delivered by the Trump administration. And that's what he did in just the first few months. Imagine what would happen if his tax cut and his benefit expansion demands actually go through in full. Make no mistake, guys, the battle is not over yet. So, of course, we need to talk about this bold new plan from the incoming Social Security Commissioner. This is somebody that Trump's administration backs to keep Social Security solvent through the year 2100. That includes raising the income cap, changing how COLAs are calculated, and possibly raising the full retirement age for younger Americans. Do not go anywhere, guys, because the long game is just as important as these short-term checks. So now, while Trump, he's been pushing for immediate relief, right? Like ending the tax and boosting benefits, the long-term future of Social Security, it's also being re-engineered right now. So this newly appointed Social Security Commissioner working under the Trump administration just laid out a bold new plan to keep the program solvent until the year 2100. So guys, this is the most aggressive structural proposal we've seen in decades. And here's what it includes. Raising the payroll tax cap. So right now, only the first $168,600 of your income is taxed for Social Security. But under the new plan, higher income earners, they would pay more, generating billions of dollars to shore up the trust fund. They will also want to reform the COLA formula. So instead of using the CPIW, which is based on urban wage earners, they want to switch it over to the CPIE, which is a formula that better reflects senior expenses like housing and healthcare. So this means higher cost of living increases in the future. They also want to gradually raise the retirement age. So right now, this one's very controversial. Let me know if you support this one or if you don't support this one, right? For younger Americans, especially those who were born after 1960, and let me know if that's you or not, the full retirement age could eventually rise to 68 or even 70 years old. Well, the argument? People are living longer and they're living healthier. And so now, whether you agree with that or not, it proves one thing. This administration isn't just talking about Band-Aids. They're focused on a total overhaul of how Social Security works for you, for your kids, even for your grandkids. And the theory, yeah, well, again, this is not theory, This is already happening behind the scenes, and it's kind of part of Trump's push to stabilize the program while protecting today's beneficiaries. But now we need to talk about what almost derailed all of this in the first place. Because while millions of Americans were waiting on checks, while seniors were being taxed on money they already paid in, while promises were being delayed, the FBI, under former leadership, was hiding documents. They were burying evidence and weaponizing its power to go after political enemies. That's not speculation. And that's now being confirmed by the new FBI director himself, Kash Patel. So, of course, I need to share with you guys exactly what Jim Comey posted on his social media account that triggered a Secret Service investigation. We're going to cover the buried documents that were just found, and of course, the wave of transparency about to hit Congress that could change everything that we thought we knew about the FBI. This is deep. This is some cloak and dagger stuff, guys. Now, if you're just now joining the live, please take a second, hit the like button for the video, and subscribe to the channel. So now that we've covered the fight for Social Security, we need to talk about the fight for truth, because what's happening right now inside the FBI, this is something we've really never seen anything like this before. So we need to start with former FBI Director James Comey, who is currently under federal investigation. Why? Because just a few days ago, Comey posted a very bizarre image on social media. It was a beach photo with seashells arranged into the numbers 8647. Now, does that number, or do those numbers mean anything to you? Think about that for a second. 8647. Now, for most Americans, that might seem random, right? But to those who work in law enforcement or military circles, the number is loaded. 86 is widely understood to mean eliminate, okay? So 86, I'm going to repeat it. 86 is widely understood to mean the word eliminate. 47, well, I think we all know what that means, right? 47 just so happens to be the number of the current president, Donald J. Trump. Let that sink in. A former FBI director posted an image that some interpreted as a coded threat against the sitting president. The Secret Service immediately got involved, and the post was deleted after massive public backlash. Comey claimed he didn't know what the 86 meant, but by then the damage was already done. That's where the new FBI leadership stepped in. You see, guys, enter FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Dan Bongino. Now, both are Trump's allies, both with deep intel backgrounds, and both of them are promising to do what their predecessors wouldn't do. They're going to clean house. They're going to expose the truth. They're going to rebuild trust with the American people. But they're not just saying it. They're actually doing it. In a new interview, Patel confirmed that an active investigation into James Comey's post is underway and that it's a part of a broader internal sweep of what he calls years of hidden corruption. And that's just the start, because now, for the first time, the FBI is fully cooperating with Congress to uncover what really happened with Crossfire Hurricane, January 6th, the Richmond Catholic memo, and other political abuse cases buried by the former FBI leaders. Comment down below if we need to share those Epstein photos, names, and files. Let me know, guys. So Patel says we don't need to tell America the FBI was politicized. They can see the documents for themselves. And those documents, they're coming and they're unredacted. But that's not all. I'm going to break down what's actually inside these documents, guys. Why the FBI says that they found evidence hidden in secure rooms where nobody was supposed to even look, and how this wave of transparency could lead to criminal referrals and real accountability, guys. So let's talk about the bombshell that the media doesn't want to touch, right? So because it's not just that the FBI is cooperating with Congress now, they're about to unleash a tidal wave of never seen before documents. And according to Director Kash Patel, what's coming will blow the lid off the scandals that the old FBI worked very hard to hide and bury. And let me tell you something. These are not cherry-picked memos or redacted summaries. These are the actual files from inside Crossfire Hurricane, the investigation that targeted Trump's 2016 campaign using a fake dossier, secret FISA warrants, and outright lies to federal judges. But here's the kicker. These documents were not intentionally hidden. We now know that the former FBI leaders, Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Baker, and others, deliberately withheld exculpatory evidence, lied to the FISA courts or the FISA courts, and they stashed files in rooms where nobody was supposed to look. According to Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, they just uncovered even more material last week, documents that weren't turned over to Congress for years, some of which were locked away in restricted access vaults deep inside FBI headquarters. And now these documents are being released to Congress, unredacted, with full oversight, and the American people will finally get to see them. Kash Patel put it like this. He said, hey, look, we're not asking you to trust us. We're going to show you the truth in their own words, their own handwriting, their own emails. Whew, wow. So this is the kind of transparency that should have happened years ago. And now it's finally happening under President Donald Trump's administration. So what happens when these documents go public? Will there be arrests? Will there be indictments? Will the same people who got book deals and TV contracts finally face the consequences? Well, of course, we're going to get to that. But first, I want to show you guys how Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are overhauling the FBI's mission from top to bottom. Guys, they're ditching the DC bloat. They're shutting down the Hoover building. They're deploying agents into the field where real crime is happening. Human trafficking, fentanyl, cartel violence. Oh yeah. And they got the receipts. So with the corruption being exposed, the obvious next question is, well, what's being done about it, right? Like, are these just headlines, or is there real structural change happening inside the FBI? Well, according to Director Kash Patel and Deputy Dan Bongino, it's not just talk. It's already underway. So the mission is being completely rewritten. They're shifting the FBI away from politics, okay? And back toward what it was always meant to be, a hard-hitting law enforcement agency focused on violent crime, child exploitation, and national security threats. Basically, here's what they're doing right now. They're refocusing on human trafficking, fentanyl, and gang violence, especially in inner cities and along the borders. They're also partnering with state and local and tribal law enforcement to take down cartels, these predators, and different trafficking rings in neighborhoods across America. And this one is big. They're shutting down the Hoover Building in Washington, D.C. That's right. The building that became a symbol of corruption and political gamesmanship, it's being vacated. Patel and Bongino confirmed over 1,500 FBI agents and analysts are being pulled out of DC. They're being relocated to field offices across the country to the cities and towns where the real crime is happening. And the cherry on top, they're not spending billions to build some shiny new headquarters. Instead, they're moving into existing facilities like the Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama, a massive federal installation that already houses training centers, explosive device labs, and long-range surveillance units. So this is not just a rebrand. This is a full-blown decentralization of the FBI, guys. And it's being done under the Trump administration with the goal of getting agents back to doing actual police work, not just pushing some partisan agendas from a glass tower in Washington, D.C. Kash Patel, he said it best. We're not here for political theater. We're here to make America's neighborhoods safer. That's it. But wait a second. They're not just going after gangs and traffickers. We need to talk about who else is under investigation right now, including New York Attorney General Letitia James, and why the new FBI leadership says no one is above the law, not even elected Democrats. Plus, of course, we need to expose what the FBI is about to reveal about January 6th, and it may completely shatter the official narrative. So here's where the gloves really come off, because the new FBI leadership isn't just looking backwards. They're taking action right now. So first up, New York Attorney General Letitia James. According to Director Kash Patel, the FBI has formally opened a mortgage fraud investigation into Letitia James and her office. Now, this is the same AG who's been relentlessly pursuing President Trump in court, often with political overtones. But the new FBI is not interested in political affiliation. Patel said, "We don't care what party elected you. If you broke the law, we're coming." So this case is being handled by what they describe as professional pros. Okay, reporting directly to FBI headquarters. And yes, that means Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. They've made it crystal clear. There will be no public grandstanding, no leaks, no partisan games, just the facts, just law, just accountability. And that's not even the biggest story that's brewing right now. We need to talk about January 6th, because in the final moments of this new interview, the FBI dropped a teaser that could completely upend the official story that the media has been pushing for years. According to Kash Patel, the FBI has uncovered a trove of new internal files related to January 6th. And these files, they detail exactly how many assets and resources were used. They reveal the money trails, operational decisions, and communications behind the scenes. And they challenge previous sworn statements made by FBI officials to Congress. Kash Patel even hinted at one of the biggest bombshells of all. He said, "I want the American public to go back and look at what our predecessors stated under oath. They said there were no FBI sources in or around January 6th. Let's just say you're about to see the truth." Ooh, guys. That came from Kash Patel. And to be clear, he draws a very sharp distinction. An FBI agent is one thing. An FBI source or an asset, that's another. And according to Patel and Bongino, that distinction matters. So the question is, were there undercover assets involved? Were certain individuals pushed or encouraged to escalate events? And if so, who authorized it? Kash Patel says those answers are on their way to Congress right now. And we, the people, are about to get a front row seat. But of course, it doesn't end there. We need to dig into the controversy surrounding Jeffrey Epstein's death, the FBI's unapologetic stance on this, and how the new leadership is shifting focus to illegal immigrants, traffickers, and cartel-linked crime cells operating across the U.S. So now let's shift to something that's haunted the American public for years, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, most people believe the official story just doesn't add up. If you think the official Jeffrey Epstein story doesn't add up, just tell me you think that they're lying, or share how you feel. But let's be honest, the media circus only made it worse. But now, under this new leadership, the FBI is standing firm. You got both Kash Patel and Dan Dan Bongino, who have personally reviewed the forensic evidence, the prison records, and the medical reports, they're saying the conclusion is definitive. Epstein committed suicide. So they're saying it's not speculation. They've seen the file. They've been inside the prison system. They've handled these types of cases before, and they're standing behind that conclusion. But even with Epstein's death confirmed, the real question still lingers. What about everyone connected to him? The networks, the clients, the politicians, the foreign agents, the ones who enabled, cover up, or benefited from his trafficking empire. Well, that's where the real fight is headed right now. Kash Patel made it very clear. If you're involved in trafficking and exploitation or any other power if you're using your power to protect the predators, you're next. So that brings us to one of the most important connections of all. This is the one that ties together FBI corruption and the delay of real Social Security reform. Let's be brutally honest here, guys. While millions of Americans were struggling to afford groceries, while seniors were choosing between medication and meals, while Social Security checks stayed flat and taxes kept hitting the most vulnerable, the most powerful law enforcement agency in America was just too busy chasing political ghosts. Think about it. Instead of focusing on crime, instead of cracking down on fraud or protecting our seniors, the old FBI leadership was obsessed with fabricated scandals, media leaks, and protecting their own political power. And what did that distraction cost us? Well, it blocked real legislation, it delayed meaningful reform, it killed public trust in the very institutions that were supposed to protect the American people. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino put it this way: the same leadership that lied to federal judges and buried evidence also helped to create the chaos that lets programs like Social Security fall behind. And now, as the truth comes out, the opportunity is finally here to reset, to clean house, and to finally let the government focus on helping Americans, not silencing them. But we're not done, because we're going to show how Trump is fighting on both fronts, demanding justice inside the FBI and demanding financial freedom for seniors through tax elimination, benefit increases, and the full restructuring of broken programs. So now that we've exposed the rot, talked about the cover-ups and the betrayal of public trust, we need to talk about what's being done to fix this thing. Because Donald Trump isn't just calling for a Social Security boost. He's launching a dual front war. So on the one side here, he's demanding justice and accountability inside the FBI and across Washington. On the other, he's fighting for economic dignity for the millions of Americans who feel left behind. And here's the thing, Trump, he's not just making headlines, he's restructuring the battlefield. He's deploying 1,500 agents out of DC and into crime-ridden cities. He's backing a Social Security commissioner with a 75-year solvency plan. He's calling for the elimination of taxes on Social Security benefits permanently. And he's already delivered billions in back pay through the Social Security Fairness Act. So for Trump, he's not just about bureaucracy or party loyalty, it's about results. He's saying, I want Americans to feel the difference. I want you to walk outside and feel safer. I want you to open your check and breathe a little bit easier. He's waging war on corruption, poverty, and at the same time, he's not backing down. So what does this all mean for you? Well, it means we're living through a turning point, not just in politics, but in American history. For way too long, our trust was violated. Your future was mortgaged for insider games, and your voice was ignored by the very agencies that were paid to protect us. But now, the system is being rebuilt by force if necessary. The truth is coming out, unredacted, unfiltered, undeniable. And for once, the American people are back in the driver's seat. So let me leave you with this. If you're a retiree, a taxpayer, a parent, or someone who's just sick and tired of the lies, now's the time to pay attention. Now is the time to speak up. And now is the time to demand results. So, and not just from Congress, but from the entire system. This is not about left or right anymore. This is about freedom, fairness, and truth. So if you're watching this right now, you're already a part of this fight. Now, if you want to stay updated on every move Trump makes, every Social Security update, and every FBI revelation, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment down below. I want you to tell me this. Do you support the $2,400 Social Security boost? Should the FBI fully release the January 6 files? And do you still trust these agencies to work for you? Let me know, guys, because this is only the beginning. And in the next few weeks, they might just change everything. Now, I'm going to be watching very closely, and so should you. So this is Ron here, and God bless, stay safe. Oh, and give our friends over at Chapter a call and see how much they can save you on your Medicare. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Be safe, guys.